Hey everybody, Graham here. 10 minutes of tips to make you look and importantly sound good as a podcast and YouTube guest. What I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes is compare 3 different microphone settings so you can hear the difference, because it's not obvious what the difference is until you actually hear it. So what I'm going to do now is, for your benefit, walk you through how it sounds, the difference between a top-level studio microphone like this one here, which I'll talk about in a minute, a simple USB headset like this one here, and the good old-fashioned laptop microphone itself, and how you can actually make that better with a set of these. So you're doing a podcast, you're a guest on a podcast, or you're a guest on a YouTube show. How do you sound good? Because here's the thing, we can forgive poor video. It might be a little bit blurry, it might not be good lighting, but what we can't forgive is bad audio. That is unacceptable. People will turn off, and that really reflects your personal brand. So in the interest of a good personal brand, how do you sound good? Simple hacks and techniques to do that. So what I'll do is I will walk you through each of the settings so you develop an ear for it. How does it sound? And then you'll understand how you'll sound and how you can improve that significantly with a few change. Let's do this. I'm going to change the settings here. I'm going to change over to the default internal microphone. I'm coming out of the internal microphone. This is the microphone attached to the computer here, and you can hear the difference in audio quality. And importantly, you'll probably hear the difference in the noise in this room. It's probably sounding a lot more reverby. Now, if you put your earphones in and listen to this, it won't sound good at all. And the reason why this won't sound good, and I'll spare you, I'll switch this back to the original setting. The reason why it's not good for the listener is because it sounds cold, it sounds distant, it sounds reverby. And if you listen to audio engineers speak, they'll talk about a warm sound. It's an important feeling. A warm sound creates a connection. Think about that as well, that word audio, authority, audience, authentic, it all comes from the same word, AU, which is, and I've spoken about this a number of times, but it's worth considering. AU, from the ancient Greek, the etymological root of that classical word, means to feel, to perceive. So if you have a warm audio, then I feel that connection with you, very authentic, as you will get with a good quality microphone. But this is top-end microphone. You might not be able to afford that, or you might not want to invest in $1,000 of audio equipment. So what is the best step up? Well, if you can't buy a microphone, if you don't have anything to hand and you're doing a podcast, well, at least use some of these simple headset earbuds that you get with your mobile phone. Obviously, the ones that you get for Apple now have the funny USB ending, so they won't plug into the output of your laptop necessarily. So you might want the ones with the traditional 3.5mm jack. Make sure they've got a headphone attached to them as well, even if it's just the small headphone here that you find on the wire. That can make a significant difference. One thing to bear in mind with these headsets is that when you wear them, one of the things they tend to do is rustle, because if you can see where that ear to microphone setting is, something to be aware of. And you won't hear this if you are actually a guest yourself, because it won't reflect on your own monitor, is the rustling on the collar. This is particularly important if you've got a beard, if you've got a collar, or you're wearing some kind of jewelry. That does rustle a lot, and that can be very disconcerting for a listener. So just be careful of that. Sometimes what you may need to do is just kind of hold it up a little bit. It may look a bit awkward, but it's much better than sounding awkward. So that's a simple hack to improve the quality of your sound rather than doing it straight off the laptop speaker. Now, let's say you've got $50. What can you do to improve the quality of your personal brand as a guest or as a host even? Now, I would go with this option here. Let me just switch over, because what I'm going to do is switch to the USB setting. This is a USB headset, which I'm still talking through the old microphone. I'm going to switch over to USB headset here. Now, I'm on the USB headset. This is the Logitech H370, which is about $50. It's a pretty robust headset. It's quite minimal. I don't need that anymore. The good thing about this is that it allows you to turn your head and the sound will follow you around. Now, this is not studio quality sound, but it's significantly better than this. And the reason why these are a good workhorse headset for any interviews is, firstly, you can pack it into a case, you can take it anywhere, and it plugs USB straight into your laptop. You can get reasonable quality sound. Now, the other reason why these are good headsets for these casual interviews is room ambience, because the difference between this and running it straight off your laptop speaker is huge. Because consider this, if you can just see this is sitting about 3-4 inches away from my mouth, which means it's significantly reducing the room reverb here. If I was to switch this back to the laptop microphone, you're going to hear the difference. So bear with me, I'm going to switch this to the laptop microphone. Running this off the laptop microphone, you probably can hear the difference. This is a lot noisier because it's reverbing around the room here. Switching this back now to the USB headset for $50. This is the difference of the sound that you can hear. Now, I think these are pretty damn good headsets for general everyday use. Let's say you have a last minute meeting, a last minute interview as a guest. You can grab one of these, put it in, no need to install drivers, whack, straight away, go, no need for a mixer, $50. You can use this for Zoom meetings as well. It's perfect. So this is the Logitech H370 headset, and I would suggest that everybody as a guest has one of these as a backup. Now, this is not what I use every day because I have here my own studio. I want to switch it up a gear to the Shure SM7B. So this is what I'm talking to you through now. You can probably hear the difference. Now, the main difference with the Shure SM7B and any USB headset, so obviously, is price. This is needing a monitor, headphone, you need to have the microphone, you need a boom stand, and you need a mixer. All up, you're looking at about $1,000. Now, why would you spend that kind of money? There's a number of reasons. Firstly, the difference between this USB and particularly the laptop and this is the depth of sound quality. What I mean by that is the range. Like, you can probably hear, if you're wearing headphones, if you stick a pair of these on and you listen to my voice, you're going to hear bass, you're going to hear mid-range, and you're going to hear top range that you never would pick up even on one of these things. It makes a very different quality of voice that you do not get through traditional internal laptop microphones, and that's one of the reasons why you should get this. The other reason you should get this is that it basically eliminates all noise. If I was to stop talking, you're not going to hear any background noise. There you go. It's completely silent. Now, the beauty of these microphones is that I've got the AC, the aircon running right here in the room at full blast because it's Singapore and it's like in centigrade 32 degrees day in, day out. Full blast on the microphone. You will not pick this up. And you do not need a pop shield. You see one of these pop shields that singers sometimes use in front of microphones. You do not need it for this microphone. I can shout into this microphone as I do now, and that will peak in the red zone on your volume levels. However, this will not distort. This will not rumble. You can shake this thing all over and you can bang it, as I do temporarily with my cap if I'm wearing it, or bang it by accident. No noise at all. This is absolutely one of the best microphones that you can use for podcast guesting, but it's top of the range. That would be my recommendation. If you really want to get into podcast hosting, podcast guesting, get this plus a decent mixer. But most importantly, and the biggest mistake that all podcast guests make and hosts make, is when they buy a microphone, they forget to buy a stand. And very typically, people buy one of these. This is a Blue Yeti microphone. It's about $150, $200. Typically, people will buy one of these and they'll stick it on their desk like this. As you can see, the difference between these two microphones is huge. This is 2 inches, 5 centimeters away from my face. This is 20 centimeters, maybe 7 or 8 inches away from my face. If I move this microphone to the similar position, you're going to hear a huge difference. This is me talking. Wow, it's like a completely different feeling. This is me up close and personal. How does that create a different feeling, a different personal brand? If you're going to get a microphone, get a decent stand. There's no point buying a $200 microphone and then standing it on books in front of you or away from you. It's not designed to do that. You need to get especially a boom stand like this. And you can pick up one of these for like $50 and it makes a complete difference. It completely transforms the sound and the brand quality. So I'm a little bit over 10 minutes, folks, in terms of personal branding tips, but that is my imparted wisdom for you today from doing over 1,000 podcast episodes. Audio is key. If you want to sound good, you want to really feel good, you need decent audio quality. People will forgive bad video, but they will never forgive bad audio. If you like the tips, please let me know in the comments.